I have zero inbox. Do you know that? We do another contract here. Well, let's do a 3-hour show. We should be done right now.
Well, you're having this negotiation with me. That's the only problem.
Well, who am I supposed to negotiate with? Right? And the one thing I don't respond well to is humiliation. I don't respond well to it at all. You know, I don't want to be told what a shithead I am. I don't want to, you know, those days are over. I've suffered enough in this business. I don't need to find out what a shithead I am.
Are you ready for this?
You cut your hair, man. What'd you do? What's going on?
I'm getting old.
So what?
I can't keep it like yours.
You know, I'm old too, so what?
Yeah, but you're ugly.
Thanks.
Jesus.
What are you saying? I need the hair?
You need it.
No,
you need it.
You know, it's just interesting when people have their kids on the air.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if a kid was a fuck-up, you just keep them quiet.
I put my kids on the air more, but they want no part of it.
When you're trying to just have a friendly conversation, when he's irritable, the things you do every day become the wrong thing to do.
That's true.
He doesn't listen.
That's right.
But the most irritating thing of all is that we used to be good friends, and we just aren't anymore.
You make me feel
I
bad.
still love him, but he says everybody's expendable, and I just have to live with that.
I was going to look for a Nikki Hilton. But you see, those good-looking rich girls, they don't go for a guy like me because they don't need my money. And Rickles tells me this story. So Beth says to Don Rickles, gee, I wonder what they say about me. Don Rickles goes, you? No one cares about you. You're not even that important.
No one says anything about you.
No one. No one talks about you.
I don't even know you.
You're not that big.
I do have to ask, do you think there's a physical match between him and Beth?
Do you? I guess they're both tall and have 10 fingers.
Yeah, they look right together.
I don't know, they look more right together now.
Or was this on the regular show?
It just occurred to me that I listened to them.
Like it dawned on me like 2 days ago. My hair's going to get crazy because I don't have I'm not going to get a haircut. And then Beth goes, I'll cut your hair, but you can't cut my hair because my hair is curly. It's
hard to cut your hair.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to Like Yesterday by Monophonics. This is QF 79 FM. And we decided to throw a little music into the mix before we get going, get you guys pumped up. And I wanted to actually make a joke out of it because one of our guys, Maurice, on the Patreon page, was asked if he said his girlfriend likes my voice, and I thought, why don't I do one of those cheesy FM DJ, talk ups and go it's 75 and sunny here in San Diego, and he asked if the ladies enjoy my voice, is it unique or whatever that you ladies enjoy my voice. I'm like, I've been told that when I was a lot younger, if I had ever done radio work, and I did in university, and I enjoyed it a lot. But I find that lately, the shows that my wife is listening to, there's almost no DJ. Like, it's all pre-programmed shit. Is the DJ really dead now at this point?
Yeah, pretty much, especially now with all the radio stations going to like the iHeart stations and stuff. Mm-hmm. They pretty much have pre-recorded interviews and talk ups now, because a lot of them now they want to be edgy. So a lot of times in these conversations they want to bleep. There's no what is his name?
Dead Air Dave.
Dead Air Dave. We don't have that. So
yeah.
It's a lot of it's lost its its originality. Its era of being compelling.
I miss actually those days because I've listened to some old broadcasts and I really did enjoy. So I did enjoy having a personality. I just didn't like the fact that some songs got cut off by the personality and they didn't find a way to have a better segue. As so, because remember the old days, you want that song, you got to record it, you got to be fast, and it was all cassette shit, and you'd always get some dickhead DJ right at the end of the song you were listening to, throw you right out of whatever mood you were in.
I used to hate when I was tape recording and the talk up, and it's like, and then you have your finger on both the play and the record button ready to go, and it's
yes.
Or you were lucky enough to have a pause button already set, and you could hit the pause button and let it go. God, I'm old.
We are. Welcome to QF, guys, a podcast about Howard Stern. This is a recommendation. First of all, welcome to Jay Sati. Great to have you back on a recording basis, my brother. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm doing well, thanks. I was about to chime in with the whole recording thing. It's like traffic's at a slow pace here in Long Island Expressway. I'm going to make sure you guys know that you're going to make when you're getting off on a major deacon, you'll be facing some slight traffic, but that's okay because right after you get after the Cross Bronx, you'll be hitting a smooth ride for 15 to 20 minutes until you get into the Northern State Parkway.
Okay, 104.
Get the helicopter sound?
Yeah. How do they do it? So, guys, this is a recommendation from Isaiah, one of our Isaiah Cruz, one of our Facebook listeners. He sent me the thing. It's a video from, I'm going to guess 1993, 90, maybe 94, maybe 94, 95-ish, most possibly.
95 because I believe, John has his haircut here.
Okay, this is fun. This is pathetic that we know this stuff, but yeah.
They have yet to move to the big studio because they're still in the quarantine quarters that they have at the K-Rock station.
Yeah, and it was I had never seen it, and what typically happens in situations like this, I'll give this one a look for certain. But it's a guy comes in. He's called, they thought long and hard about this one. He's called Gay Doug. And he's not Gay Rich. We're not lucky enough to have him or Mark Harris. And Isaiah said it's just super creep the way this thing unfolds, and it gives you more of an indication what people should have known earlier of what Wiggy likes to do in not just commanding guys to do gay things, but clearly he's enjoying it in the video.
Isaiah's his YouTube must be on the same wavelength as mine, because when you brought this to my attention, I had just finished watching it, and I was gonna ask you, do you think that this they're starting to do the removal of content again, seeing as though that there has been some news circulating on the fact that Howard might be getting the old cancel culture push these days?
In terms of like Sirius wanting to, what do you mean? In terms of Sirius saying they're going to give him the heave ho possibly, or let him go, and then just use his archives?
No,
and then by that, like clear the field of YouTube again and try to, go after channels.
Yeah, because I've been seeing that a lot of the older content is being removed. And a lot of the more recent stuff of like the past 15, 20 years have been more of the shareable content on YouTube. And a lot of guys are now using, there's one page in particular who's using like AI generated graphics to go back to mask it up. So I'm wondering if they're really going after removing his stuff because of the possible whitewashing that they're doing of him.
It could be. I mean, certainly so far, like I thought for sure we've got a Drew already episode coming up that I thought for sure as soon as I finished uploading it to YouTube, they would capture and say like, nope, copyright infringement. Maybe because I reduced it and turned it, made it, the size I normally do. Maybe because I fucked with the audio a little bit, like in post-production. Maybe that helped disguise it. I have no idea, but typically you don't even need to be Sirius XM. Some guys out there were just going on saying, I think it was those Vietnamese channels that were just trying to get people taken down and fucking with it. I mean, if you contest it, a lot of times they'll just say, oh no, there's no copyright infringement, because how does Toy Van Klikchak, like how does he own Howard's content from way back when? You know what I mean? So anyway, I don't notice anything different, but then again, you guys are way better at keeping an eye on the channels than I do. Most of the times, it's all about keeping my own audio stuff in check. And I don't upload to my own channel, so I haven't gotten any notifications for copyright infringement.
Right. Yeah, because I've been noticing that it's this whenever it comes to this what you may like comes up. A lot of it is it's not what it used to be. It seems as though that certain things are starting to fade away a little bit.
They might, but it's also natural for some of those channels to fall into disuse and just disappear completely. Eventually, Sirius gets to just about everything, but I think certain things out there they just don't want to have to bother getting rid of because they feel maybe it's just going to pop up 3 more times. But if they just leave it on one channel, it'll just be buried in the millions of other channels. So anyway, we're going to go with this one, guys, and it's a blast from the past, and we hope you enjoy it.
You want to meet Gay Doug?
Oh, yeah, he's the guy who's in love with Stuttering John?
Yeah.
Do you view John more as like a sexual encounter or more of a relationship you'd like to walk in the park holding hands together?
Oh, walk in the park, holding hands.
Like a long-term
I've
kind
got
of
like
thing.
this obsession stalking kind of personality. So
Oh, do you really?
I kind of don't know. I'm half and half. I'm kind of both.
So we're not going to have to like call the cops on you one day?
Maybe. I mean, if he doesn't deliver today, I'll be back.
All right, let's meet Gay Doug, who loves Stuttering John. Those two haven't met.
So, I mean, do you have dreams about it?
Okay, before we get further into that, I have to say, though, I do, as much as I'd love to say this was some kind of, a common thing. I mean, Howard was pretty, the ratio of gay stuff on the show back then compared to straight, let's call it what it is, straight hetero, kind of titillation stuff and mix of interviews, like celeb interviews for the TV show especially, was probably like maybe 2 to like 20% of the time, or even 15% of the time. He'd have gay stuff, but not really that much. And we're not talking about guests who are gay. We're talking about these kind of segments. Would you say that's a high estimate? You'd say it's even less than that?
No, it's about average. It's about that, around that area.
Like gay or lesbian, I meant.
Right. Yeah, he would the lesbian stuff he would always pound. Like that's the higher end that he would go with. The lesbian stuff he really liked to play with. Yeah. It was more of the homosexual males that he would dance around with. There'll be innuendo here and there that he would throw around, but it was never anything that was a long-standing conversation. It's only when you get it, like you mentioned, like Gay Rich would come in, or Mark Harris would come in. You'll have those moments, but other than that,
Simmons,
especially Richard, but he'll do the innuendos that way. But other than that, he hardly ever went that way at that moment until we find out later.
Well, would you say it was pre-divorce? It was more along the lines of like he was just worried about his audience departing if it became suddenly too much of that. Yeah,
I think it shifted later on because there was certain things that he couldn't do anymore. Like there was always that thought of this old wrinkly man still fawning and lusting over young women on a Sibian, that they were like, yeah, so we're not going to be able to do that anymore, especially how standards are these days. So it just became an old wrinkly man fawning over 2 guys trying to grab each other's balls or smell each other's ass. So that made it right with the world.
I think after the divorce, he started, pardon the expression, dabbling more into this stuff. And because it was bleeding out from his personal life, he'd want to see more of it, because we got the Goo Goo Dolls gay dance party. We've got a lot more, cross-dressing, a lot of like trans, this stuff like that started to come out incrementally more. And then by the time he gets to Sirius, it's almost like full blown. And getting Sal and Richard to do his own in-house gay stuff, he can direct, he can sort of direct it like a good, oh wow, he's his own Jack Horner.
I always found it funny that they would take Casey the Task when Casey would talk about what he would do with Buckethead when they were in college, and it was and Casey would be like, "Come on, man, gay's funny, right? Gay's funny," and he would always, he'd always give him the business about it. But then, fast forward 2 years later, and we're having men paint each other's cocks. Great, here we go. Because that's not gay at all. No,
no, whatsoever.
Yeah, plenty. I'm sure I'm going to talk about them in there.
Well, why don't you tell me one of your dreams?
I have plenty of dreams, but can I talk about the dreams in there?
Come on in, Gay Doug. Gay Doug called me yesterday.
Gay Doug been sequestered? He hasn't seen Stuttering John yet.
That's right. Gay Doug called me yesterday.
Very pretty.
He called you yesterday? What, personally?
Yes.
Doesn't Howard look like he's dressing a little bit for Gay Doug? Like the flannel, the plaid, sort of sleeveless, so he can show off his manly tattoo.
Fillmore, come on, stop. You know that's grunge. What do you mean? That's grunge.
You gotta hurry up.
Why are you yelling?
No, they're yelling. That's just it.
Why do I have to hurry up?
Because Howard wants you
Because he just called for you on the air.
So, give me a second.
That's so Howard's
Can't
type,
she come
too.
with me?
No.
Bodyguard.
Stop being
the bodyguard.
Stop being temperamental.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? It means persnickety.
I'm sorry. What was that?
It's not too far away from looking like Ralph.
Isn't that his type? Swarthy, dark, a little unkempt.
Yeah, he knows how to pick him.
Yes, he does.
What does that mean?
There's Gay Doug,
my
everyone. Let's see what he looks like. Oh, there's Gay Doug. Very handsome.
Hello.
Very handsome man.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna let it play, guys. Sorry, otherwise this is gonna be like this 20 minutes is gonna be the longest eternity you ever spent the way I do it.
I bet you have no trouble meeting guys.
I know, but they just want to sleep around.
What? You
What
want
do I do
to?
with this?
You want to sleep around?
No, he says they just want to.
Hi, Robin.
Good morning.
Okay,
I
Doug.
love Robin.
Let me describe you. You're a very handsome man. I'd say you look like a little bit like Keanu Reeves. Has anyone ever said that?
Oh, yeah, they tell me that all the time.
And you
Keanu
have
Reeves, Rob Lowe.
Yes.
All the greatest ones.
And you
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. And you're wearing shorts, and you have very hairy legs. I got to say.
Okay, he spent, first of all, he's 3 times he said, or at least twice, you're really handsome. And now he's looking at his legs. He's exposed. Like, I'm sorry. The prosecution rests. You want to stop it here?
Yeah, and right, they wouldn't even take an hour inside the jury room. This would be done.
It would be like the Murdoch trial. 3 hours just to have some lunch and then like do a casual vote at the end. Say, here we go.
The kind of legs that they should be shaved down a little.
No.
Let me see. Stand up. Let me look you over. What are you, about a 38, 24, 36? You got a nice physique, I'll tell you that.
No, I'm actually too thin.
Are you?
Yeah, but that's all right.
If I was a gay guy, I'd be attracted
Where
to...
Where is he?
If.
I love Rob.
If
the
sad part is I remember when we started, when you came on board doing episodes with us, that we did a couple, and then you said they weren't, I wouldn't say they were in the same line, but you said, why am I always picked to do the gay stuff? And I go, it just happened that way. It's not.
And we're back to that, ladies and gentlemen.
We've done a full rotation around the planet.
Thank you.
Let me see you, Tony. I hear they're painted baby blue.
Oh, you'll see them you'll see them later.
Let me see. Put your feet up.
I have my boots
Oh,
on.
you have boots on? Let me
Yeah.
see your boots. Hold your leg up.
They're that butch kind of,
No, you look very nice. And when you walk down the street, do guys try to pick you up and stuff?
Yeah, but they just want to have sex.
Right. You want a relationship.
Yeah, I'm just not that kind.
All right, so I may have seen this video years ago when I was watching the show, and or maybe during my few years on the early days of YouTube, and I may have recalled this, but I don't recall him going into full-fledged gushing with this guy before. He sounds like how he would talk to Savannah or Tony Katane. He sounds like if he's talking to a woman.
Right.
He's breaking him down.
Well,
believe me, ladies and gentlemen, it gets worse.
Well, this is the thing. You watched it in its entirety. I watched only the first 5 minutes. I said, "This is plenty." I'm convinced. I'm in.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It gets worse, ladies and gentlemen. And boy, it's like I said, he's fawning. I'm like, wow. Okay.
Okay, but why didn't we see this before? Like, I never saw this before. This was a new one to me because, and especially the early, aside from the Channel 9 shows, the earliest show stuff is extremely difficult to get outside of the odd, because you're basically depending on people to upload their VHS copies onto YouTube, and hopefully that channel stays, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I like I said, I've probably seen this so many years ago. And around that time, I was in my early 20s, if that, and I just took it as for what it was. And as a viewer of this stuff, like we mentioned, he rarely
it didn't
world. Yeah, like he didn't really touch upon it so heavily.
Okay, so he was lucky because there wasn't as accessible, because we couldn't always see the channels. You wouldn't see it on a replay, and he didn't do it often enough so that it was patently obvious.
And this is one of those episodes that doesn't get replayed around that time too much. Like you'll probably get the 11 o'clock, and then you'll probably get it again at 2 a.m. Okay. But it wasn't one of those that was highly on repeat. You'll always get the other ones where somebody's taking off their top or something like that.
Okay.
I have a girl I want.
I hear you.
He wants to be held after.
Absolutely.
I'm going to throw up.
I want attention.
Right. And you're so gay. I mean, your voice is so effeminate. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
You love that.
When did you know you were gay?
At about 3 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know I was a heterosexual.
I didn't know what sex you were.
How would I know I was at 3 years old? I had no idea what sex
3
was.
years old. And you keep saying that you know a way to change that.
Yes.
You're born with that.
Nope.
You are born with
trust
that.
me, you are not. It's a distraction. Just like
wow. We should put this on TikTok as soon as we get a chance.
I mean, really, he has flip-flopped on this so many times during his years on air. He's gone to this. He said that it's inherited, it's natural, and he's gone back. Dr. Sarno can fix it. He's gone so many ways with this. You can't even follow through with it. He's had so many thoughts about it. It changes more than Ric Flair's title reigns. It's like it just he doesn't know what, because you know why? Because he's conflicted himself. Even at his age to this day, he'll still be conflicted.
Yeah, and again, I still don't believe he'll ever come out of the closet as bi, gay, whatever, a sociopath. He's never going to actually come out because it's just giving people too much information. He just doesn't want that out there. I mean, if he protects himself so much, it would make perfect sense for him to keep that under wraps as long as possible until posthumously. But if let's say, for example, let's play with a little karmic retribution. Let's say he got hit by a Mack truck tomorrow and died horrifically, and he was all peed. He was, in Greek we say stakomatia, in pieces on the road, little bits of wig, on the grill. Do you think the stories would start to flood out?
I don't think it would happen at that moment. I think later on in time, if people felt like they didn't get any money from a will or something like that, that things will start trickling out a little bit. But as of at that point right now, he's keeping it guarded like a Supermax prison. Like, you're not gonna get coming out right now. Not even where Manuel Noriega has that much fucking protection around.
Rikers Fire Island. Shit.
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
Born with it.
No, trust me on this. Don't get defensive. You know what you remind me of? There was a guy who once, years ago they thought the Earth was square.
Yeah.
And one guy came along, I think Galileo, and he said the Earth is round. Who said the Earth is round, Jackie?
Flat, not square, you idiot. Jesus. Fucking idiot.
I thought he was trying to sing Bohemian Rhapsody the way he said Galileo's name.
Yeah. Galileo.
No.
Copernicus.
What do you know?
And all of the wise men said, what do you know? What do you know?
Look,
They all
okay, all right,
sounded
wait a
like
minute.
that?
They were all gay. What do you know? And then they wanted him burned at the stake. Do you know that? Why would you sit and fight that?
Because
I tell you
wait,
I know.
Were you were you ever gay at one time and then changed?
Yes.
You were when? With who?
When I was 3 years old.
See,
All right, and I changed.
I was
all right?
3 years old.
All right, listen to me.
Listen, it's not even circumstantial to me, but a lot of people would say, like, it came right out of him, and I think he knew really early on, Howard, he knew himself that he was attracted to men without question.
Well, and like we've been saying for the longest, I believe that his parents knew as well, and that's why his
yeah,
got him the Playboys early on.
Mr. Hefner, would you send copies of your periodical to this house, please? We live in Roosevelt, and our son has a little problem. I mean, AJ's book, 74 and Sunny, which is a great read. AJ Benza, I'm sorry. I know he's sadly, in the realms of like his podcast, he's still going strong, but he went too political and I had to give up on him. But I did read that book of his, and it's possible we may get an interview out of him in the future for things that are not political whatsoever. But his story, it's a story of his uncle having a gay son and wanting to live for the summer with AJ and his siblings and his parents, and to try to basically make him straight by having him play football and, getting in trouble and, breaking things and whatever, just sports and getting, and obviously they didn't know at that time. You don't change it. It's not his uncle, the kid's father, his cousin's father, called it brain damage. That's the the mentality back in the day. It would make for a terrific television movie or some kind of coming of age story. It really is actually a great read, and it's a great book.
Yeah, the cousin went back to the father and told him that he was married to George Takei.
Exactly.
What if 3 told him he was gay?
Yeah. What happened to you at 3?
Okay, I'll tell you this.
Someone took your temperature?
No, we had this. I had a next door neighbor who was about 16 at the time. I guess it was 3.
Yeah.
He was a teenager.
A boy.
And he was a guy, I guess. And he used to sit by the car in the summertime with kind of like what I'm wearing, but with no shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to hang out there outside and blah, blah, blah. And he used to see me and say, "Hey, Douglas, come here."
Right.
And I'd stare at him and I would be not scared. I didn't know what the feeling was. I related it to scared, so I ran into the house.
But you were in love.
You were
I'd
excited, keep going out. I would.
That's impossible at 3. You are a sick pervert.
No.
That's perverted to say that.
No, I related
There's
that.
no way a 3-year-old has sexual feelings.
Yes.
Wrong.
Call up Dr. Ruth. She'll tell you.
No.
I think at deep at this time, he even though he wasn't going to therapy, or he claims he wasn't, I believe he was definitely he had undergone some kind of conversion therapy himself at this point.
Yeah, I also think that with Gay Doug, what he's talking about is sometimes it maybe the age is off. Maybe he could have been older and he equated 3 because it depends on what your early days of remembrance is.
Sure.
So even then, so he can't have this belief that that's how it is, because unless someone had this conversation with him. So other than that, he would have never really danced around that until unless someone, quote unquote, educated him about this.
I think so. Yeah, because we know now, of course, way later, he is nothing. He is the sum total of anything somebody's told him. It's always been Ben Stern informing him about what politics he's supposed to have. It's always been about DJs telling him what kind of pose he should have and look and how he should sound on the radio. So why wouldn't that also why wouldn't that also go towards his sexuality and the hiding of such?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
maybe
I
it's
had
6 or 7.
Feeling for him, and I didn't know.
All right, you're
what
confused.
It was, so I confused it with fear. But I know now.
This happened to you probably when you were 8 or 9 years old.
Oh,
and
you think you know everything.
Oh, I know everything.
You don't.
I do.
You don't.
I do.
You don't.
I do.
You don't. This is not your category.
Oh, by the way, here's a good question. What was your earliest crush? Do you remember?
There was this teacher. His name was Mr. Sam, and he was gorgeous. Long black hair. We used to call him Mr. Barbazat. He was our gym teacher. No, my earliest crush, it was funny because it was someone out of my race. It was a Chinese girl. I remember her name, Wen Locke. And she had, for her age, her birthmark was a silver streak down her hair.
Oh, wow. I had a friend like that. I still have a friend like that. She covers it now because she's all gray. Mostly it's gone, but she had the same thing.
Yeah, it was in 2nd grade. And
wow.
I was every time I would see her, I would be gaga. Like I wouldn't even be able to speak. And she was just the sweetest thing. And she was always nice. And we end up being like in the same class almost every year. And it would always bump, would always bump. And it never got into anything more than just classmates, and we never went anything further than that until like 8th grade, where I told her I had a crush on her in 2nd grade, and she told me, she goes like, "Oh, that's cool," and just left it at that.
Well, that can happen. My earliest that I can recall, and I must have always had a thing for brunettes. There was this little Portuguese girl. Her name, they called her Millie, but I'm sure it was short for something else. And she was just adorable, and she was always dressed very girly, you know. And that would have been, it would have been like, I guess 8 or 9, I guess 8 years old, maybe. And then another girl in an older grade. She was quite taller, Mary Jo, I can't remember her last name, and they both grew up to be sweethearts and married and stuff, and when I see them, they're super friendly and just great people, actually. But then I discovered my first ginger. And then forever I was like, Anne Margaret.
Was it Lucille Ball? Like,
Christ almighty. She I remember that one, someone made a joke about Lucy can't remember her original hair color. She goes, that's true. Poor Lucy.
What age did you have your first gay penetration?
Gay penetration or gay boyfriend?
Gay penetration.
I don't.
You've been.
Wait a minute. How did we make that leap? Where do we go from here? He went from having a conversation with him about he couldn't be gay at that age,
right?
To this, might as well going 127 miles per hour into a wall, just saying, "When did you get your first gay penetration?" Like, how did that's what you call sliding it in easily? Shit.
No lube. Well, look, Doug, he was the one to bring up that Howard stance, which he was pretty vocal about. Obviously, it was in his book, but also on the air. Very commonly he would have gay guys and say it's all bullshit, whatever. I mean, it really. If anybody, I do have the audio. If I went through and G Chup is helping a lot with sending me older early '90s stuff in really good quality from his cassettes. They still held up after all these years. He's digitizing them, and. So it's like he had a little ADHD and decided, oh wait, why am I fighting this so much? I actually like hearing about cock. Please tell me, when did you first eat some ass? And so I think he forgot himself for a second and then decided, fuck it, I want more of this actually than I'm getting.
Penetrated, I assume.
What do you mean?
But you don't know what penetration is?
No. I mean, do you mean it in a wet dream when I got?
No, I said no. When were you first penetrated by a man?
Oh, when I was 18, 17.
Holy cow. Was it painful?
Oh, I know. You mean anal sex? No.
Yes.
I didn't have that.
Oh, you don't do that? A lot of gays don't do that.
No,
yeah, you told me that all did, and now I find that they don't.
I don't. I don't find my thing.
He's just into...
They just do it on TV.
She said, Howard told me. She said, you, meaning Howard, you told me that all gay men have had anal sex.
Yeah. Hasn't anybody ever had that conversation? Really? I thought me and Howard were the only ones. Whoops, my fault. All right.
I repeated. I'm sure this is the second time mentioning it on the show, but Artie was doing an interview with Marin for WTF, right? And Marin was bringing up a story about some old road comic that they both knew, and they were together at a comedy condo, and they're having discussions, and he was going on about. He goes, sometimes you get into these weird conversations. Like he started going on about, have you ever had that time when you're watching the Playboy channel and you're jerking off and you got a hairbrush up your ass? And remember those? And he goes, no, that never happened. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I have a friend of mine, my gym buddy, is a close friend. We've known each other for years. Who we do that. We'll have a conversation and he'll say something like, yeah, sometimes you just fall head over heels and then you find out you got a fucking cock in your ear and you go, what? He goes, what?
that I don't remember this.
What? I said, what'd you say? He says, what did you hear?
Well, anyway, we'll continue with the thing, guys. But again, he's showing a little too much interest in this gay stuff, and it isn't just clinical.
Yeah, he's showing his cards a little bit here.
I think he's not protecting his hand.
Let me see the two pair. You got a two pair there? Let's see the two pairs.
Casino Royale.
You're just into oral stuff.
I'm just into oral stuff.
Thank
very
you.
oral.
Really?
And that's all you need.
I just really need to be loved, actually. That's
good
all
luck.
I need.
All right. Now, you fell in love with Stuttering John. You saw him on the E! Show?
No, I saw him years ago on Channel 9.
I see. And you liked him, and and your fantasy is to have him sit on your lap, and you want to kiss him.
Oh, I'd love to kiss him, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude.
Does John like it himself?
Are you kidding me?
He'll do you think he'll French kiss me today?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
All right,
I think I could talk him
okay.
into it.
If
I think I can talk him into it. Why would you want to?
Because he wants to see Stuttering John and Trent Reznor have full blowout makeout session. Even for this time, this is even a bit much for the later stuff. This is a little bit edgier than he would have usually gone before, even afterwards, especially with Richard taking fucking Sal's balls in his fucking face. But yeah, this is a little bit a lot for him during this time.
Well, yeah, like, don't you think you could put this next to like a 2008, like one of that Zeb Atlas interview that he did, that gay porn star, or there's a couple of gay guys came on Howard TV, and
all that.
Yeah, don't you think it could sit comfortably with those two?
Yeah, because at least with the serious stuff, he's already dancing that way, if not already in full waltz. But this is a little bit. I still can't get over when he says your first penetration. That's just right then and there. Like, here you go, take this. Wow.
Enough of this bullshit. Let's get down with the anal. With the gay anal.
Give him an ultimatum, like fire him if he...
You want to cuddle him, right? You know, he's about to have a kid and everything. I mean, he's pretty heterosexual.
Oh, he's married? I didn't know that.
Well, he's about to get married.
He has a fiance. He doesn't have a wife.
Well, you know, I don't want to take him away.
You're not a home wrecker, huh?
No.
Yeah, but he's having a kid with a guy. I mean, it's not like it's with a girl. All right. Have you ever converted a heterosexual man over to homosexuality?
No, and I keep trying.
Right.
I don't get anywhere. I don't get anywhere.
Really, I can't imagine you have. I mean, you're a good-looking guy. I can't imagine you can't get boyfriends.
I don't. They don't like me for some reason or the other.
Maybe it's your personality.
You don't like that personality?
Well, I mean, he's a good-looking guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very cute.
Thank you.
God, if he says that anymore, he may as well just fucking get down to start rimming.
I was about to say, you might as well fuck him or get fucked. Shit. If I had a woman hit on me like this, I would be set. Oof. Santa, if you hear me, that's what I like for Christmas.
Yeah,
a woman talk
that's
to me.
gay.
I'll go for the fair.
Sorry, I had to throw a little of that in there. Let me see if I got one more.
Pack twice! I want some butts!
Guys, we're trying to make it all happen here at QF.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Listen, Gay Doug.
Now, how did you bring it to your family?
I don't think you need. When you're Gay Doug, I think your family breaks it to you.
They know. They
knew right away.
3 years. Wait, they've known since 3 years old, I bet.
Really?
Yeah, because I was always like this flighty and flaky and born that way.
And played with dolls and everything?
Played with dolls, did all the
Dressed
work.
up in women's clothes?
The work.
Really?
Yeah, so you're just born with it.
And pacifier in the butt?
Oh! Everything.
All right, let's take a break. And maybe I can get John to cuddle you. Because you like to cuddle, right, Cuddles?
Why don't you put some eyeliner and stuff on?
No eyeliner.
You're putting on makeup for him.
Boss!
Ooh, I think you're really
I don't want to let him down.
I think you're really into this.
I don't want to let him down.
Fast forward to about, I don't know, let's see, 30 years later, and there's a cockroach coming off your microphone.
It's the Stuttering John show. Beer on the balcony.
Oh man, someone messaged me privately, and they asked, like, are you guys ever gonna like do your own Stuttering John kind of thing? And like, obviously, I'm not gonna do it. We are not gonna do it. But in case we get some Stuttering John material that is too good, like from the old days, like, you know, there's no way we're not going to cut it, or you know, at least take a stab at doing some of it. The only thing I'm really interested in is the Jay Leno getting the job at the Tonight Show saga. And again, that's so long. That's going to be, it's going to be a while before we get that one done.
Yeah.
Maybe I should brush her hair too.
Yeah, the guy likes long hair, so fluff it up.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he liked John when he had the wild kind of hair.
Good thing we got Ralph doing his makeup for him.
Gonna make him look like fucking Grandpa Al and shit. Fucking Grandpa Munster if he keeps putting that makeup on him the way he is.
No kidding.
You should have gotten extensions yesterday.
No. There's always something I forget.
Give him a hug.
Give
Stand
him
up.
a
Come here.
real hug. No.
He was about to cake up that makeup so much he was gonna look like Marie Antoinette. Like,
let them eat cake.
Any interest at all?
I'm just embarrassing, to say the least.
Are you gonna let him sit on your
lap?
lap?
Is my face red?
No. Are you gonna let him sit on your lap?
I might let him sit on my lap. Yeah.
What's the farthest you'd let him go?
Probably that would be the
Because we're not doing that show right now.
You wouldn't let him like rub your butt?
No.
Not naked, just like
No, that would be
touch
gay.
your butt?
Yes.
What about like touch your butt?
No, I
Come
think,
on, like in the subway sometimes somebody brushes.
no, I don't think I would let him touch my butt, Candy. Would you let me touch yours?
Yeah, if you want. Go ahead.
I don't know. I would. It's different. I'd be leading him on.
Gay Doug is here. He's wearing short shorts. You wearing any underpants with that?
Yes, black.
Let me see. See a little bit of your underpants.
Okay.
Well, you're hot.
Okay, fuck off.
Okay, wait. This is what I.
Fucking hell.
Come on, there's only one guy showing another guy's underwear and then telling him he's hot. That's not gay, right?
Oh,
right?
jeez.
Hello?
Everybody knows that Ralph fucks Howard in the bath.
Am I alone here?
Oh, man. Listen, this is just... This... I can't even get at it, man. I'm just...
Well, how many inches? Are you very small?
There's just no end to like at the time of this, I think I would have been incredibly uncomfortable. Like this is, let's say it's 95, 19, 20. I mean, I wouldn't say I was homophobic, but I definitely wasn't nearly as worldly as I could have been. And in that, I grew up with one kid, this guy, Ted, who's a wonderful, wonderful guy, but he, and the poor kid grew up I'm certain he was gay. I lost touch with him a long time ago, and in a community that just simply wasn't acceptable. I knew two guys. One was older, like more my brother's age, and clearly this guy was a little bustada. But it was such a masculine society. Like the Greek community was so indelibly masculine that there's just no way to do that in that generation to come out.
Yeah, and I'm just I must have had a lot of marijuana and alcoholic beverages between that day and like today, because I don't remember that during that time of this. But it's like I said, it sounds like how he would talk to strippers. That's exactly what it is. Let me see your underwear. Let me see what you're wearing. Let me see what you got going on. Oh, you're so hot. Like,
but he's doing it in that tone, the seductive, the seductive human tone.
Right, that just sounded like Artie. Yeah. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Let me see.
See?
Let me see what gay guys wear for underwear. Oh, I wear those.
You do?
Yeah, I'm gay.
Thank you. That's a drop.
And the defense rests, ladies and gentlemen.
The judge is doing a little jig. He's dancing around like kids. What's the matter with kids today?
His gabble couldn't get any bigger than that.
Must be gay.
Those are the gay underpants.
You know that you can pervert a gay, or you could change.
You are so gay. God, this guy's so femme, isn't he?
He's like a girl.
He's like a girl. How did you avoid the AIDS epidemic? Do you use condoms?
I did it.
What did you do?
I don't really sleep around. I'm very, very careful.
And then when you sleep with someone, do they wear a condom?
Definitely.
Really?
Oh, definitely. But I don't really, I don't have anal sex or anything.
Right.
I mean, I'm really, really...
Well, they found out that oral sex can be transmitting the AIDS virus.
Then I'm in trouble.
Yeah, because they found out that monkeys had oral sex with each other, and they infected each other without any sores or open cuts in their mouth.
All right.
So you better think about that. I bet
that's why Howard wanted the condoms in the private parts trailer.
He doesn't do anal either.
No, he doesn't.
Your men aren't wearing condoms because you think you're safe with doing just oral sex.
I'm fine.
Who knows?
I'm good. Believe me.
Why, you've been
very,
tested?
Very careful. No, but I don't need to be.
All right, John, come on in here because Gay Doug is draining all my energies.
Hello, Doug. I'm coming.
Have you had your way with married men before? Is that what you're
saying?
No.
We should take Gay Doug down into the homo room and do stuff to him.
All right.
What the hell was Ralph doing with his... He looked like he's brushing a Shao Pei. Like, what was he doing? I I've seen mink coats that get better brushings than what he was doing there. My God, it was like he was almost helping a cat like lose its hair. It looks bad. I don't know.
Okay,
listen.
I
don't know. That's a makeup artist on a budget for real. Like, Jesus.
I was just gonna say, we all know guys that didn't go to school to be, let's say, auto mechanics or carpenters, but then did enough work to wing a lot of that stuff. Like they could replace certain bits on an engine, or they could definitely like fix brake pads or this kind of thing. You know, it's some of these things now, especially everything's DIY. Just go on YouTube and you can become, the world would have you believe you could become Eddie Van Halen just by watching a couple YouTube videos. But it's true about certain things, but back then there's just no way. And how does a parking lot attendant know anything about makeup?
Listen, in New York, I don't know if it was anywhere else across the world, but in New York, we had commercials that ran for a school named Barbizon. He could have gone. He could have gone there and got some kind of certificate. You got a certificate in 6 months.
You seem the same way Dr. Ronnie was a doctor. God, we're gonna have to hit that one too. I got to add that to the master list. The list at this point looks like it looks like the New Testament.
I was about to say you got a new shroud going on over there.
No kidding.
It's no fun if they want to.
Yeah, right.
The only fun is dragging someone down.
There's Stuttering John. You said you might pass.
His hair is long. I love him. Come give me a hug.
Wait a second.
I get a hug from him.
John, before you started getting into sex with Gay Doug.
Your hair looks much better long. Much better.
You called me yesterday, Gay Doug, and you said
I love
John is like the cutest guy you've ever seen.
Yeah, he is.
And you want to have him badly.
Very badly.
Now go ahead, look at him. Don't turn away.
I can. I'm shy.
Look at him.
Very
Don't be shy now, Doug.
Would you let him in the back door?
Yeah, anything.
Anything he wanted to do to you?
Anything.
You got to admit, Gay Doug.
So adorable, isn't he?
And Gay Doug's kind of handsome, isn't he, John?
Guys, we don't have a bell. As I said, there's only money in the budget for one bell, and Raven has it. But right now, we're getting carpal tunnel syndrome with that bell if we had it for every mention of him being handsome by Howard.
Oh, I mean, like I said, he's more gaga than anyone else there. I mean, why didn't I see this earlier? Why did I pick this up late? I'm always late to the party. Always.
Okay, be honest. Okay, Google Dance. We've already had this question. You said Google Dance Party. Excuse me. Google Doll's Gay Dance Party was where you finally thought, okay, something's rotten in Denmark here.
Right.
But before that, nothing.
No, nothing at all. This was like, because like I said, they didn't really do much. The only person who I thought was possibly suspect was Fred because of the bachelor party.
Okay.
And what happened with him and Gay Rich and how Howard would, share the stories about Gay Fred's awkwardness and such. Yeah. But
then he would also tell the story of getting naked in front of Fred in the hotel and saying,
right.
like, why didn't you, what were you? You're a homophobe. You didn't come on to me, as opposed to, no, you're the homosexual who wanted it from Fred.
Exactly. We find out that that's what Fred's thoughts were as well, and maybe Gary, because for the longest, gay men love Gary. They were drawn to him. He was shit to flies. He was there. But
what was it about Gary at that time? I don't recall. I mean, I do remember that he became like, he was just really swarthy, and they liked that.
Yeah. He they loved his lips and he had his long curly hair at the time, and he had that John Oates look. Like he was, I don't know, like
garbage compactor teeth.
Yeah, like who knew? Oh, I can imagine what he could do with me with those teeth. But nobody like those were really the only two. They always like allude to Jackie and his prowess, but I never got that from Jackie. I just thought Jackie thought it was funny to do stuff like that. But those two, but not Howard. I didn't get that because, like I said, they weren't really more instances of that until later on.
Yeah, I think if you watched it start to finish, well, actually, now that I think about it, when we were doing the Me series, the interview series with him, doing the interview show,
Right.
and he, and Richard Lewis going, you're a closeted gay man, and you really just attracted to me, and that look he gave, that little like side eye, whatever, when he mentioned that, Stern gave that look, and Sam and I were like, ooh. Busted.
Yeah, and then it's also at that same time he would go on Letterman and dress like a woman and stuff, and I'm
kissing the host.
Yeah, and I'm going, that's all right, because Rodman was doing it at that time. It was like the shock thing, but then you start seeing that everything became about something womanly. The costumes for Halloween, you're a Hooters girl, or you're dressing like Mrs. Claus. It's like, what why didn't I see this before? It's like,
yeah,
it's like
Mike,
when you're putting the pieces together from Usual Suspect.
Yep, at the end of the bulletin board, and you just see like Rip Taylor on the bulletin at the bottom of instead of Skokie, Illinois.
Yeah, I'm fucking Agent Kujan now, and I'm fucking realizing that fucking Howard is Kaiser so gay. Like,
well, the Unusual Suspects. Well, here's the thing. I believe this is how it basically went down. He struggled with it all his life and suppressed it as best he could. And probably vicariously got off on like gay chat rooms later on. And then he probably had his own stash of gay shit. And then closer to the divorce, that's when the floodgates are open. And the mad tear is really the mad fucking bustada tear. And all the, Angie Eberhardt and Robin Givens stuff is all just beard relationships to cover it up. Because, man, there was no worse time to be out for a guy like Howard than in the, grunge 90s and early like the metal years, and certainly or before 94. It would have derailed his career completely.
And I just heard that interview with Robin Givens like a day or two ago, in which this is after Wiggy's with Beth, and she comes in and they're having that talk about when they dated, and it's the most awkward ex conversation you could have. Unless you guys were in court battles, it just seemed like they were reading off of scripts. It was weird. It sounded very weird. It didn't sound like people who had a romantic kind of relationship.
I have listened to the wrap-up show segment of that, and it's one of the funniest ones ever, because Artie was talking about how the Tyson interview with Barbara Walters, I think it was, with Robin Givens in her, he said when she said Mike punched me one time, and Artie was he was, maybe this was sexist of me, but I said, sweetheart, you look fine. I mean, Marvis Fraser is still in the emergency room unconscious. And they just didn't believe anything about it. And I'm sure Robin Givens was a huge bullshit artist anyway. But Howard needing a beard so desperately at that time girls like that would have been fine with that. Struggling actress, not really working that much anymore. Young kids at the time. She talked about going to his house with the kid in tow and that look he gave her.
Yeah, and what better way to make it seem really not obvious is let me be with a black woman. Yeah. Let's do that. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, that's one we'll have to tackle another time. But you're right. I do remember being honest, but I love especially when Artie, I think he fell asleep during it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I guess he's good. Yeah, he's a good-looking guy.
He is. Now, what is
He's more nervous than I am.
All right, now we promised you that John would make your dream come true. Now, John, you said you'd sit in his lap.
I said I let him sit on my lap.
Okay. On your lap.
Because John's the guy.
No, hold on. This might be the climax.
yeah, wait, that ain't no climax. You also said you'd take off your shirt for him, John.
You would?
Did I say that?
Yeah, okay. And you let him rub you.
No, I don't know about that.
Oh, come on. Oh, you know what? Let me see. Take your shirt off.
I'll take my
shirt off. Take your shirt off for Gay Doug.
He can't, because
Go ahead, take it off.
I love him.
Oh.
Body by, what is it? Heineken.
You like his body?
Yeah.
Are you getting excited?
I'm too nervous for that right now.
Really?
But
Really? You like what you see?
I can't.
You like that it's hairless?
I love every bit of it.
You love every bit of it.
So
wow, you're so appreciated, John.
Boy, John, you're beefcake. You're
wow.
fixable.
Look, he's turning all flush, Gay Doug. Look at Gay Doug turning flush. Oh, he's smart.
What is this?
Go, massage oil.
Okay. How did Ralph know to bring that in?
And at the right time, too.
Exact right time. Okay, you guys theorize all you want. I'm certain it was about Ralph. Maybe it could just be a goof, like Ralph decided this might be funny if we hand this in. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. I would also not be surprised if they, like beforehand, Howard talked to Ralph and said, look, when John comes in, I'm going to get him to take his shirt off. He'll certainly do that. And then you bring in the massage oil. Any arguments against?
It's like, wait a minute, that's my oil. You're not supposed to go in my office and take that. What's wrong with you? You should have bought one.
Oh, Jesus H.
Hey, this is like gay porno.
I'm getting more than I thought I would.
Right.
Put your shirt down, John.
No, John, sit down and relax.
Do I get to massage him?
Well, we'll relax. We'll build into it.
Do I get to give him oral massage?
Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man.
This is like gay porn.
Yeah, but then he said, am I going to give him an oral massage? I'm like, wait a minute, where are we going with this? this was on E? Like, what happened? Yeah.
Well, that's, I mean, that's the word they had to use. Like, what was it? Well, anal, obviously, but what was the other word that they used to use all the time?
Jackie made that up.
Yeah, he created anal. No, but there was another term they used to use. Oh, no, it was later on. They used to refer to load as a protein shake.
Yeah.
He laughed hysterically when I heard that. But it was, I think, in reference to, who was the guy that, was it Rich Cronin? Was that the guy that came in that dated Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Right, the one that passed away, that he was part of that group. Right,
and he said, did she swallow your protein shake?
Yeah.
Christ almighty. I mean, there's a workaround. It was a lot funnier than if you just suck its dick. You know,
right.
I liked when they had to dance around the censors.
Hey, Doug is making me ill.
Really?
Damn, man, I'm driving to work, and Gay Doug's on here talking about just. I'll tell you what, man. He can only give oral favors, but this guy, he's making homos look bad.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to Stuttering John. All right, John, you're there with your shirt off, and Gay Doug is looking at you like the wolf looked at Little Red Riding Hood. Is that right? You are totally turned on now?
I am in love.
All right, now go ahead. You can sit on John's lap and take your body oil. Yeah, take your oil with you over there.
Don't take the oil.
Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
I don't know him well enough.
Hey, John, sit in Gay Doug's chair.
Have my bracelet.
Sit in Gay Doug's chair.
Want my bracelet?
Yeah, you're gonna keep
No, John, listen to me. I'll set the agenda.
From Stuttering John.
I'll set the agenda. Sit in Gay Doug's chair.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to sit in?
Yeah, sit in Gay Doug's chair.
He'll set the
Gay Doug, sit on John's lap.
Hello, Frisco.
Squeeze his breast.
Oh, no one.
Ah, Jesus Christ. You're raping
me. Could you get away with that today?
No. Thankfully.
Christ.
Okay, Doug, how do you feel?
Hey, watch yourself.
Come on, let him touch you, man. What is the big deal?
I don't believe it.
John's afraid he might get excited.
I know.
No, I'm not afraid of that.
Yes, you are. Why wouldn't it be okay for him to touch you?
Look how afraid you are. What is the big deal?
I don't know the guy well enough.
So you have to know a guy to make out with him.
Guy's good looking. Are you getting a
bing?
No, them will be like, bing. Ding.
Should, but you know what? I'll pre-record an intro explaining, guys, the magic word for today. If this was Pee-wee's Playhouse, is handsome or beautiful or good looking. When any one of those, when you hear them, drink. You'll be fucked up in record time. Fucking hell, geez, you'll be Foster Brooks.
Hey Doug, are you getting aroused? I see something going on.
I think a schwenk is moving over here. Right on my lap.
John, calm down for a second. You're in love, Gay Doug? Get close to that microphone.
I'm close enough to the microphone.
No, let Gay Doug get in there.
Okay.
Hi.
All right. We can all hear you yelling. I can hear Gay Doug.
What's that?
He said, get closer to the microphone. He picked up the mic. I said, that's not the mic he was talking about.
Oh, Christ almighty.
Feminine
Yelling
tones.
in fear.
All right, now Gay Doug's arm is around John.
And my
John's
hand
shirt
on
is
his
off,
leg.
and your hand's on his leg.
Yeah.
Rub his leg a little.
No, no,
He's
no.
good.
Don't rub my legs. Don't
What is
rub
the
my
big
legs.
deal?
No, come on.
Dim the lights a little.
You're acting.
You have a pair of pants on.
Yeah, I don't care. It's just
What is the big deal? Why is he?
Let the guy's dream come true.
His dream has come true. He's on my lap.
No, do me a favor. Rub his shoulders.
No, he's not rubbing my
Yes,
shoulder.
he is.
No, he's not.
Why did you change? You said yesterday you'd let him.
Goofing. I didn't.
Yeah, this is clearly some guy getting like using these guys to fulfill his gay fantasies by proxy. There's no question in my mind whatsoever.
Come on, Coco, take your top off. Come on.
Trey Jolie. And meanwhile, he's Ralph Garcia in the scene. Jesus, any of you old enough to remember Fame, the TV show and the movie? I always found it fascinating. Now we're just thinking about that. For the movie, the character Ralph Garcia, he plays such a pivotal role. But then when they had the TV show, they got some loser to play him, and he just became nothingness. And they focused on some of the other actors instead, which was a good point. It just didn't work for the TV show, but. That was based on the Fame show was based on the School of the Arts in New York, right?
Right. Well, fun fact, you guys will know. You'll learn. The school is supposed to be based on School of Performance Arts known as LaGuardia.
Yeah.
But the high school that they use as the backdrop
was in L.A.
No, well, the scene, it was shot in L.A.
Yeah.
But the exterior shots were done with the school called Julia Richmond, in which your friend and mine, Jay Sancy, went to.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, which became Talent Unlimited in my last year of high school.
Okay, fair enough. And I love that show. I don't know why as a kid. Maybe I'm suppressing something.
Yeah, you can't find it anywhere. Like I don't see it streaming on like Hulu or Tubi or anything like that. It's weird that they don't have that around. It was bigger in the UK and in Italy. Yeah, I would like to see some shots of Gene Anthony Ray dancing in the middle of the streets. I missed that.
You know, I will tell you though, at the time, I do recall it would have been like, I didn't remember the movie. I was too young for the movie at the time, but I remember it was huge. And then when the TV show came out, every girl in my class, and they were all like, 9 and 8, because we're like mixed, what do you call it, de-streaming type classes. Mm-hmm. Every girl, like 10, 9, they had a huge crush on Gene Anthony Ray.
Yeah. I wonder if they
just like Liberace.
Like 5 years later, like when reality hit.
Was coming in?
Oh, come on. You know what it is? The listeners influence you. You have no mind of your own.
Oh, yes, I do. Nice try, though.
No, you have no mind of your own. No,
yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday he said to me.
All right, watch yourself.
Rub his shoulder. It's all right. I'll give you permission.
Don't rub my shoulder.
Yeah, John, let him rub your shoulder.
No, come on.
I think, John, then the bit's over. Then get out, John.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? You're not on the air with me anymore. Really? Because you're so easy.
He's on my lap. Give me a break.
Do this gay stuff, or else you're not getting on the air anymore. Isn't that what that sounded like?
Yeah, I'm looking at this and just starting to think of feminine actresses that were in Fame that can make me less gay. I'm thinking of, like, I remember the later years, Nia Peoples and Carol Burnett's daughter was there. Like,
excuse me?
I believe it was Carol Burnett's daughter that was on the show as well.
Well, Janet Jackson was on it.
Janet Jackson was there as well. See, look at that. Let's try to move away from all the gay stuff.
And Michael D. Lorenzo, who's in the Beat It video with Michael.
And we're back to gay again. Okay, back to.
All right, Mrs. Sherwood.
Oh, thanks for the save.
Yeah, she was cute, actually. I liked her. I always like the older women anyway, so fuck it. She said I certainly wasn't going to go for Miss Grant, even though Debbie Allen was funny as fuck.
Yeah, she still was looking good back then.
She did, yeah, and really talented. I love the interviews with her. She was something else. And Felicia Rashad's real life sister.
Yes,
Mrs. Huxtable's real life sister, and she ended up directing and producing, I think, A Different World.
Yes, and she's also was part of producing LL Cool J show In the House. I know not many people remember that, but all right.
I'm sure it's somewhere out there on Hulu or Roku or somewhere.
What are you fag bashing for?
Did I bag bash you?
Rub his shoulder.
No, there's only so far.
You ever go to a masseuse?
He's a stranger. Come on.
Does that hurt?
You know what? Wait. I want to ask something.
Rub his breast.
What's straight guys' problems like? Why
Well, I don't know you, gay Doug. If I knew you, maybe I mean.
John, you're such a pussy. You can't let a gay guy rub your shoulders. John, put your hand down. Let the guy rub your shoulders.
No,
you can see he's a nice guy.
I'm not going to enjoy it anyway. So forget it.
Yeah.
What? You're not enjoying being on my lap?
Is he yelling? You're so tight, man. Mellow out.
I need to come back again.
You know what it is,
That's
Doug?
what I need. I need a, you know.
He needs you to give him a little kiss on the forehead.
You get the hell out of here.
Let him kiss your forehead.
Kiss.
One little kiss on the cheek.
You know, let him rub your back for a little.
Okay, fine. I'm not uptight about it. I don't care.
Because that's I enjoy it.
I was about to say, you don't see the welcome mat back there? The door is open. More ways than one, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my Lord. God.
He doesn't want to rub my back, but I don't care if he does.
What is...
He's a man.
To Howard at all?
I've only been attracted to you, which is...
Touch his back. Rub his back.
Guys,
Put your hand on his...
It reminds me of, I was just listening to a Crazy Alice. He's like, Gay Howard. He goes, that doesn't bother me. You don't like when I call you gay? No, that doesn't bother me. Yeah, it doesn't bother you because that was your flashbacks in high school. It was Gay Howard.
Well, you know, that's one theory Benjamin postulated, that he was if he was not abused, but if he was targeted in high school, was because a lot of the people probably thought you were gay, and back then that certainly would have been a reason to unfortunately go after someone who was in the closet, you know.
Right.
But not when we grew up in high school. It was pretty protective environment, actually, considering the era. Still pretty homophobic, but generally, even if people had an inkling of somebody being gay, they just kind of let them be.
Listen, like I said, I went to a performance arts high school. If you weren't gay, you weren't cool.
Jeez, you were the minority.
I was the minority. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I can rub it. There you go. That's it. Now is that a big deal?
Calm
What he's doing?
down.
It's beautiful.
Calm down.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
He's rubbing your shoulder.
It's beautiful.
Does it feel good?
It feels wonderful.
He's so uptight.
Oh,
so
what
uptight.
a mess you are.
Is it just my imagination, or is Howard's shirt getting more open as the minutes progress?
You know, I'm starting to believe that he's doing that whole heart palpitation thing when you grab his shirt.
Like Bugs Bunny when he sees a female rabbit and his heart starts coming out of his... Oh, Christ.
Turning me off.
Yeah. Hey, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Howard, I think this guy's sitting on John's lap.
Yeah.
John's a
That's why John...
Hold on. John just said fag, and they didn't bleep it, but they bleeped this guy's call.
Yeah, they weren't really good at it back then. It was this, he complained about that before, and on another episode where they would block certain derogatory terms and not the N-word. They were really hit and miss. Scott DePace and Doug weren't really good at catching certain things.
And mind you, it was thrown around a lot. I get if you missed one by accident, but it seems like it's such anything with a hard consonant should be flying. Like you should be able to spot it right away.
Oh yeah. Which, by the way, yeah, you're right. The shirt is opening up little by little. Looks like he's getting the vapors. I do declare, Mr. John and Mr. Gay Doug. I feel as though I'm catching the vapors.
Can you rub me down with some Ben Gay?
Can you bring that massage oil that you have there, sir?
Yeah, eucalyptus.
Freaked out.
I don't blame him, man.
If Gay Doug had been down here yesterday...
No, I'm not a sir.
You are a
homosexual.
You may be. Either way is putty. You're a
Al said to me, Howard, he goes, this guy, you know, there's a difference between gays and this guy's a
Oh, everyone's putting you down. All right. Man. Anyway, we tried to make Gay Doug's dream come true. John's a little uptight.
Rub my back.
Blame him,
rub his back. Go ahead.
Rub my back. There you go.
What is the big deal?
There you go.
Hey, give me a rub on his chest.
Not on my chest. You can rub my
back. Big deal. What's the big
He's
deal?
sitting on his lap.
Yeah.
John, you man. I'm sorry.
Shut
up.
You care what this guy thinks?
Who is that guy?
Yeah, who is he?
Yeah, who is he?
It's Dick Cavett.
Rub my back. Oh,
He's just actually jealous.
Yeah, there you go. Now they're getting into it. Now
bit.
they're getting into it a little bit.
There you go.
Howard's not the FAG for directing traffic.
Oh no, not that. Are you crazy? He's bringing entertainment to everyone. He's just a ringmaster of fun.
like what's his name?
The three-letter word we wanted to use. Yikes!
Like Sal, he's creating magic.
What is it? He's staying in the. I hate the term that Sal always uses. I'm staying in the vein of creative content. You know, it's like, no, you're doing gay stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Stand behind him and give him.
Yeah, give him. Yeah.
There you go.
Stand behind him.
There you
That's
go.
good.
Stand behind him.
There you go.
Hey, Doug is rubbing down John.
There you go.
Now John's getting.
Oh, God.
Go a little
You know
lower.
how you like back rubs,
A little
John.
lower.
I know. I just realized that.
Thanks.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Wow, this is
Squeeze his nipple.
Any zits back there?
Squeeze
There
his,
you go.
Squeeze
See
his
that?
breast.
Pimple free. No oil. No oil. Ah! You're raping me.
That wasn't so bad.
Give him the oil.
No, shut up, Jackie.
Give him a little kiss on the back of his neck.
No.
Oh,
Watch yourself.
I wish you had
Watch
gone
yourself.
for it, Doug. He wouldn't have known.
Watch yourself, Doug. Hey, Doug.
All right, John, get out.
Down, John.
Come on, let him rub my
Calm
back.
down.
Yeah, but you're protesting too much. It's annoying.
What's that? Not bad.
You're protesting it. You're trying to avoid homosexuality. What good are you?
The John is like 2 rubs away from putting a cork in his asshole.
And guys, he's honestly 3 years or less. This is Howard I'm talking about. 3 years or less away from, I think maybe 4, from talking about watching gay porn with Casey and not gay porn, trans porn with Casey and Ralph privately.
He was probably a few months off from talking on the air that he was on Prodigy talking to somebody having sex chats, and he found out it was a guy.
Right. And I think the discovery was there was no discovery. He knew from the onset it was a goddamn guy. Your name isn't Leroy, and you don't sing Hot Lunch, do you? Oh, man.
Yeah, let him have his way with
He's got
you.
strong hands.
Enjoy yourself. Close your eyes. Get
Let them
into
just
it.
do that and go on with the show.
Yeah, there you go. Doug, how you feeling now? Now you getting into it? I bet you could seduce him.
Yeah.
Look at how skinny she is. I think so.
She is. Robin, I want to meet you like in person, not behind that glass.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
Doug, let me ask you one. Could you talk like without the effeminate thing?
Yeah, try and get into a masculine there.
Oh, you would like a more manly man, huh?
Job now. No, I just got to see if they could do this. All right, how's this? Hello? Shut up.
Well, how's that feel?
He's good. He's actually
hands
pretty
are
good.
all over you.
No, he's good.
Now all of a sudden
He's
you're
got
digging
strong
it.
hands.
Yeah, there you go. It's no big deal. It's just 2 guys touching each other.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Guys, we're home. We have 5 minutes left.
We're almost across the pink finish line, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Rainbow finish line. Listen, I would have been
Somewhere over the rainbow.
I would not have been surprised if Wiggy had like one hand on the mic and one hand on the other mic, if you know what I'm saying. Because
yeah,
way into this.
Just a little bit. Am I off? Am I getting the wrong vibes here? Like, you tell me. Am I crazy?
No. There's no Haldo that you'll be needing right now. You're good. You're good.
Oh, fair enough.
You get a massage and
Take your pants off. Let them rub your legs a little.
No, that'll be it. Let me give you oral.
See how guys become homosexuals?
Lie down on the couch.
Come on, John.
Come on, John.
Just stand up.
You know the reason why guys become like this?
Why?
Yeah, I mean, become like, homophobic like this because of all the guys who go around,
That's it. That's the only reason.
Right.
It's really no.
Hey, because it's no big deal. 2 guys.
I let Gay Rich rub my back all the time.
Really?
Yeah, he would comb my hair, rub my back.
I mean, do you guys really get sick? Because I had sex with a girl and I wasn't sick. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing.
I get sick sometimes thinking about what you do with the
Why does it get you sick, though?
lower half.
Poor John would not particularly like this conversation being aired, knowing his, what happened when he finally had kids and what happened to one of his kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And guys, trust me, I understand. Different time. You don't, people change also, and they mature hopefully and all that and whatnot. But it is, as a slice of history, as a slice of entertainment, let's say, it is kind of jarring to hear this in 2023 with all that's happened since then, politically, sociologically, in terms of comedy, in terms of expectations, societal, views on things. I think it's incredible. Again, contextually speaking, when you compare it to what's considered entertainment today.
Yeah, and I don't, I'm not going to go on a political rant here and stuff, but it's funny to me with this day and age with the whole with the wokeism and all that stuff. At the end of the day, a lot of this stuff is just history, and what you do from history is you learn from it. It's like these are just instances that were in a time capsule that you look back and you do like we do. We go, wow, that's crazy. You can't get away with that now, but you also recognize that there's certain things that got a little bit more of a leeway than others that we can't do these days. I say that all the time when I listen to these shows, and I still laugh at it. I still got a real fucking twisted sense of humor to this day. Yeah. But you also have that gauge that, you ain't gonna be able to pull that shit these days. No.
Well, for example, like the Pogues have a song, Fairy Tale of New York, Fairy Tale of New York, which is, it goes back 86-ish, and it became 87. And it became a massive, massive hit, and is every Christmas, or for the longest time was. But there's a line where he uses the F word, and I think they censored it, or they offer it. Some stations will play the uncensored version, and they've either bleeped it. I haven't heard a bleep version, but they might have done the dead air kind of thing, where they just mute it or something. And yet there's no context being allowed in this case. It's literally like they didn't bother asking the songwriters, look, this was the language of the day. It doesn't mean it's right now, but at that time it was that's what it was when we wrote the song. Take it in that context. And I think they were a little upset that it was just, you're not allowed to let it be as it was. Yeah, it's the parlance of the people at the time. Right. It's like I said, it's just one of those things to where it was that time of era. That's just what it was. And right. Yeah, and you understand, like, it's not gonna be written again today the same way, and you just leave it where it was in the past, and boom, you're fine with it. Like, contextually, you should be able to handle it. People shouldn't be crumbling to go through that fucking shit. Anyway.
You know why? Because they like to do it, and then they have to make themselves.
Doug, have I made your dream come true?
You absolutely do.
All right, so there is Doug. John's shirt is off. He's sat on his lap. They're rubbing each other. It's very, very romantic.
Oh, John, give him a hug.
Give him a hug goodbye. Come on, give him a hug, a real hug. Give him a real hug.
Hug him. You hugged him like you were.
You want me to stand up now?
Yeah, stand up and give him a hug. Let Gay Doug's dream come true. I promise.
Really hug him.
Give him a hug.
Just really hug him.
There he goes.
Let me say something.
What's that gay bracelet John's wearing?
He's wearing my bracelet.
That's Robin's. I pickpocketed it.
So feminine.
But let me say something. John is he practically humps women in the office. He's always rubbing and hugging.
Yeah, that's strange.
Hey, John?
No. The point is, give him a real hug.
Hey, John, give him a hug.
Good.
Give him a hug. Give him a hug like you hug a woman. Go ahead, Doug,
give
stand
him
up.
a real hug.
I knew he was going to do that.
He tried to kiss you.
You're a rapist.
Faggot. All right, Homo John. All right, thank you, Gay Doug. There's your dream come true. You can thank me now.
Come on the couch.
In the couch. And then we'll do a nice picture.
Why don't you lie on the couch?
No, just take a picture. Just take a picture.
Lie down on the couch.
Come on, John.
Come on, John.
Just stand up.
What do you want me to do?
Stand up and get a picture.
Come on, take a picture.
I'm afraid the guy's going to go to kiss me again.
Go kiss him.
No, don't kiss me. I swear to God, I'll punch him.
Don't punch him.
I won't punch him.
I got my bodyguard. Get close. Look at me. Don't look at Gansey.
You gay basher. Come on.
Yeah, you're
prejudiced.
I'm not a gay.
Come on, John. No, come on. That's not it.
You know who put you through in the first one?
I know. Smile.
You took off his shirt for me.
Look at me. And I let him rub me. I let him sit on my lap.
Rub me. Sit on me. Look at it works.
There you go.
Sit down. Take one picture. Sit now. Come on, John. One picture.
No, please. We're fine.
Come on.
We're fine, Ralph.
No, just.
Ralph continuing the gay Spanish Inquisition here.
I was about to say, which one is Ralph? Because looks like someone that same paper cut with different scissors. I don't know. It's like,
and the time. This is the time. I think we just got a short clip of Ralph, a cut of Ralph in the frame where he has that two-toned, dirty, like wet look, whatever. It was short hair, but it was really, Howard couldn't go for that because he had to have long hair. But as soon as he could, as Ralph started growing his hair longer, the two of them were like little, they're like DeVito and Schwarzenegger and twins, except like more alike than not where that hair was concerned.
They both their hairdos was inspired by the Shaggy Dog, the Disney movie.
You better believe it.
Do that laugh thing.
Joe, do you want to like?
I already did the laugh
thing. Do you want to like thank him at least for like?
No, but I didn't get a picture.
Ralph,
Come on,
we have plenty of video. We have plenty of video.
But you can't pull a video. Come on, man.
Yes, you can pull a video.
Just sit on his lap.
No, we have a nice picture.
He did that on man.
Look at Ralph. Jesus, I know what you're doing.
I want to take a picture.
It's fine. It's fine.
I want to take a funny picture.
John. Isn't he annoying?
Totally.
Could you believe that he's annoying me?
John,
this guy?
don't ignore my friend.
Exactly.
Take a funny picture.
Don't help me out with him.
Come on, John.
Maybe we could set Doug up with Ralph.
Yeah.
Like Ralph?
No, this is the one I like.
He's a one-man man.
I'm a one-man man, very loyal.
Doug, it was.
Doug didn't go for Ralph because he was gonna say he's such a FHG.
Sorry, what's that?
He's too femme for me.
Well, look, didn't you always get that sense from Ralph before they started making noise? From the onset, he always seemed a little too, fruity.
Every time I hear that Andy Dick song, I laugh hysterically.
Yeah, but it was the lisp gave it away every time.
All the time. Oh, please.
Yeah.
Are we going to lunch?
Yeah, I mean, if they could set that up, we'll go to lunch.
All right. You were not going to lunch.
No, that isn't true. I mean,
All right,
and if not, we'll, we'll.
So how will I know?
For his number.
Yeah, he has my number.
Yeah, we have his number, but if
he asked for it yesterday when I called in.
I don't know if today is good because
he asked for my number.
Yes.
He has my number.
I did. I wanted to make sure it was, real.
He'll call me later.
But did you have fun in there?
I had a ball.
Okay, guys, I think that's about that. Howard's got this now forever somewhere on some rotation of his videos at home, his video collection. I'm sure he's into more hardcore stuff now than just this. But for that time, this would have been more than enough for him.
Yeah, not even Dominic, when he was on his treadmill, would have watched this episode. He ran away from the fucking from the exercise equipment and went and got a steak. That was just too gay for him.
Yeah,
Dominic.
Incidentally, guys, we're going to make a what's going to happen going forward with some of the episodes with the Shuli's Anonymous. James is going to take duty on some of them. Len's going to take duty on some of them. Maybe even Carrie as well. I like to have a rotation of stuff because everybody's got a good amount of hatred towards Shuli. When we start getting involved in that, right now we're still doing episodic stuff based on existing Howard TV video or audio. And then we're going to work our way to the present, kind of shit show eventually, but whatever it's going to turn out being. But I'm certain I think it's fresher hatred for Shuli than Howard because we've been doing this for a long time and Howard, people have established, okay, yeah, we already hate him. And now it's more fun to hate on this guy.
The tides have turned, ladies and gentlemen.
I think so.
We're shifting gears.
Just a little bit, yeah, but we're still, honestly, there's a long ways to go in the future. Anyway, thank you so much for handling this one, my friend. I appreciate it so much.
Oh, as always, brother, this is always fun, especially when you bring on the gay stuff, like Norm would say. Yeah, you're bringing me on just for the gays.
Well, the next one we're going to handle. Did you want to handle, because you mentioned the Norm, the whole calling already Howard out on the exploitation thing. Would you like to have a toehold onto that type of episode where we have people basically telling him what he should be doing with Artie?
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting topic to go down because, at that time I was pretty aware of what was going on and I didn't like it. And we all knew, the majority of us who basically heard it and can see it. We knew that Artie was slipping down a darker and darker path, and they weren't helping at all. So I really find it interesting that we could dissect that as well.
Yeah, it'll be a whole host of them, including a Brad Garrett clip, Richard Lewis, Chris Rock, Norm, any number of people that went in and said, this is not going to go well, and then also alternate media on there. Like the original clip from the Adam Carolla show where Norm came in and said, they had a midget on there that got drunk and died. And he didn't really. Now he apologized for it later on, but I don't think Norm was he tried his best to get away from it, and he did. Howard's claim, he did have him on subsequently, so he obviously, took his apology seriously. But I don't think Norm really wanted to apologize about Hank, because let's be honest, they did enable Hank just as much.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I believe Dr. Drew made comments about it as well that would be interesting. I have to see if I can find that as well. That it's a lot of darkness there. And I was very although it was upsetting to hear, it bothered me a lot to think that they didn't have a hand in any of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, guys, we love you. Take care. Stay safe. Peace out.
Goodbye, my sweet loves.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. I'm just doing great.
If you weren't a boxer, what would you be doing?
To lie to somebody.
Do you think there should be random drug testing for athletes?
Yeah, but most athletes are more clean anyway. They just go through a head thing. I mean, they going through. They just make everything clean. So, yeah, they should.
Can't believe he went into boxing.